A letter to Hideo Kojima. Dear Mr. Kojima, I remember you talking about how you didn't want to be known as just the Metal Gear Solid guy. And when you said this, it was around the time of Metal Gear Solid 4. Well, honestly, Mr. Kojima, I think that's rather impossible for you at this point. The sheer amount of Metal Gear stuff that you've done simply dwarfs any other project you are associated with. Zone of Enders was great. The recent Castlevania game that you stamped your name on was also very good. But if you think for one iota of a second that you are not going to be known as the Metal Gear Solid guy, you're sadly mistaken. Which is a sad, sad shame, because I really want to see the other ideas you have rattling around in that head of yours. Just think of the wonderful worlds you could create if you were allowed to make the games that you wanted to make. Oh, am I confusing a few of you? Well, for those of you who are unaware, the Japanese game industry can be a lot different than that of the Americas and of Europe. Whereas in America, you just pump out a trilogy and then move on to your next project and then revisit it after about 5 years or so. Or when a company finances start to look shitty. Got to keep them afloat. The Japanese old gamer motto is, if something works, then do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Wait, before you start bashing me for hating on Metal Gear Solid, I just wish to say I love Metal Gear Solid. It's one of the few series that has been consistently good throughout the numbers of their titles. I can think of another series that has a lot of titles and isn't very good. I think it's on number 6 right now. And before you bring up Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, because it comes out a lot, think of something else besides those games. As I've said before, those games are annuals and you can just as easily classify them with the alongside sports games like 2K and football. And it's the same repetitiveness is probably the reason why you see a lot of Japanese developers leaving the companies that they grew up in, because after years of successful titles, they still aren't allowed to experiment. And you have to understand that just because they are Japanese, that doesn't mean that they don't have sparks of inspiration. They have imaginations like anyone else. To Kojima's credit, though, his talent is exceptional, because he always finds ways to make Metal Gear feel better and better without feeling stale or overused. But to Mr. Kojima, I truly wonder what you would create if you were given the freedom to explore all the fun things inside your little head. And to all of you wondering out there what I'm talking about, just take a quick Google search and look at some notable Japanese developers and just see why they left their companies. And that's that. That's the end of my letter. Tomorrow, I promise, because I haven't done so, I'm going to talk about Metal Gear Solid and why I love it so much, and also the new trailer for Metal Gear Solid 5 and why the trailers make me excited for the game in an almost sexual manner. You all have a blessed day. I hope you have a lot of fun.